Why are people so threatened when there's a question on whether their church is literally true or not? Common sense would say, well, if a religion is not true and can be proved to be not true, then people would leave if that could really be proven. But not only does that often not happen, in fact, the reverse happens. If there is a claim that a religion is not true, people will be very offended and defensive. Now, I'm not talking about if someone is challenging a religion to be disrespectful, but the very question that one would say religion is not true is so threatening to people. And I want to go over why it's so threatening on a societal level, not just on a personal level, a societal level. One is religion does a lot of things for people individually. I was told once as I was questioning my own religion that religion was a vehicle to God for this person. This great religion that had been created was the vehicle at which someone could express themselves and connect to God, have a channel to God. And one might say, well, they don't need the religion to do that. But I want to go over into why sometimes religions are created. In order to get the masses to do something, you have to get them to believe in something great. It has to be grand. And there has to be a belief greater than themselves. And the reality is, we don't really know about what's going to happen after the next life, but a lot of it is about organization. The visionaries want people to organize and to create a civilization. So there might, on whatever level, be a desire for that. So there's this grand idea that's come up with that people will attach to. Now, there are other religions that have conquered and put in a religion as part of their conquest, but a lot of it is about organizing the masses. And a byproduct of that is creating a community culture. That's religion. Religious norms go into a culture and people are able to connect in that way. It keeps people in line. Whenever you have a civilization, you need to keep people in line. There needs to be a sense of what is true and what is not, what is good and what is bad. And how can you decide on what is good and what is bad unless there is some God telling people what is good or bad? And in that sense, you can control people's behavior in a way that keeps them in line here on earth, but also keeps them in line whenever they think about what God wants them to do. It gives people a sense of identity. Your identity is tied into the collective, tied into something else. Your identity doesn't just exist by itself, or it doesn't have the same meaning when it exists by itself. I think also one of the biggest things is it gives hope. Religion offers something grand for something to believe in that's greater than themselves, and it creates hope for not only this life, but for the next life. And so when truth claims are challenged, you're challenging so many things. You are contesting the social order of things. And if there is a breakdown in the social order or in the religion, there's going to be chaos. And if people that had once believed in something no longer believe in that thing, especially if their deconstruction happens very quickly, there's going to be despair. So there's going to be despair and chaos and anarchy if these things are torn down too quickly. So I think anyone being critical of religion, and not all of them have good motives. I think the people that have good motives want to empower the individual to have the best life that they can. But I think some people might profit from the anarchy, despair, and chaos. Or some people may not realize that if something is torn down, especially if it's torn down quickly, then it's not going to be able to be rebuilt very well. And so it's important to keep that in mind when someone is being critical of religion, as to what the real consequences of that are, and to be as sensitive as possible in order to do that. And also to not oversimplify this issue. This is a really, really big issue on a very unconscious level that we're dealing with. It's not really a matter of if something is true or not. So these are some ideas on why religion historically has been necessary. And in fact, not just historically, but possibly even it's the case today. People need to have these things in order to organize and feel hope. Thank you.